Good evening, honored guests, scholarship recipients, their families, and friends. We want to welcome you to the 15th Annual Cape Verdean Recognition Scholarship Committee Award Ceremony. We are gathered this evening to honor 33 very special young men and women who have recently graduated from the greater New Bedford area and who are on their way to higher educational institutions here in New England and throughout the United States. We want to say congratulations and want to wish all of you continued success in your future endeavors as you continue with your educational goals. We also want to congratulate the parents, grandparents, and caregivers who are an integral part of their success. I am honored once again to be chairperson of this extraordinary committee, who have worked so diligently in raising over $380,000 in the past 14 years. And awarding 363 scholarships. This year, we are awarding $42,000 to 33 recipients. They are superb students, generous volunteers, kind caregivers of parents, grandparents, siblings, and hard workers, as well as first-rate, top-notch, outstanding scholars. They took difficult, meaningful courses and prepared themselves for the next educational milestone. The Cape Verdean Recognition Committee is extremely proud, and tonight we celebrate you. Our hope is that your ability to continue your educational journey will light a flame in you, and you will realize just how important and wonderful this pursuit of knowledge will be to you in the future. You are our future educators, and we are proud to be among those who will lead us to true education. We wish you peace and success, and hope that you will return and make a difference in our city someday. As in the past, the success of our efforts has largely been due to the contributions from our sponsors, who have generously given us the financial support needed to achieve our goals, and also to the many businesses, organizations, and individuals. We want to say thank you for your financial contributions, which has assisted the cause of increasing awareness and the importance of education and leadership to our young adults. Included among the generous contributors, please stand as your name is mentioned. Ms. Juliana Hines. She has been with us for many years. Thank you so much, Juliana. Mr. Richard Maddock, another great contributor for many years. And Mr. and Mrs. Jack Ritchie from Rhode Island. Dr. Susan and Mr. Tony Costa. The Damalis Foundation, represented by Attorney Scott Lang. I'm not sure if he's here yet. There he is in the back. Ms. Gracia Hillman, she's unable to be with us this evening, but sends her best wishes to the recipients. Attorney Scott Lang, I mentioned you earlier, but that was for Damalis. Edward J. Rogers, represented by his wife, Mary Ann Rogers. The United Front Development Corporation, represented by Donald Gomes. Valerie Cabral, represented by her nephew, Brandon Cabral. She also sends her congratulations and best wishes to the recipients. Cornell Management Corporation, represented by Stephen Baptista and Kevin Baptista. And also Grant Pierce Housing by Stephen and Kevin Baptista. Mr. and Mrs. John Costa from Costa's Karate. They are also unable to be with us this evening, but send their best wishes. Eugenio DaCosta, he is not able to be with us either, but sends his best wishes. The Tom Lopes Fund, represented by Patricia Honor. And Eversource Energy, represented by Dennis Galvin. And the New Bedford Whaling Museum, represented by Dr. Akia Bernard. Mr. and Mrs. Peter Silva. And cruise companies represented by John Cruz. I think he just walked in. And Jeanette Gonzalez and Lindsay Grace, who also were not able to attend but send their best wishes. I would like to welcome our parade marshal, Miss Gail Forts, who's doing here. She is the executive director of the YWCA of Southeastern Massachusetts. She is truly committed to the YWCA mission of eliminating racism and empowering women. For over 35 years, she has dedicated her life to helping others. Gail has spearheaded breast cancer awareness campaigns, women's health programs, and worked with the area's most vulnerable, from the widow to those in need of shelter. Gail's motivation is being involved in organizations that are committed to eliminating racism, social justice, and leadership development. For Gail's years of work advocating justice and equality, especially on behalf of women, she is a 2015 Standard Times Woman of the Year and a 2016 Unsung Heroine for the Massachusetts Commission of the Status of Women. Her commitment for the support and advancement of women in our region is apparent, not only in her day-to-day role as executive director of the YWCA, but in all her community work where she serves on local boards. Gail has been involved with many organizations throughout the area and is currently the board secretary of the Cape Verdean Association in New Bedford, board member of the Temple Landing, member of the Board of Corporations for Bay Coast Trust Bank, trustee for Alma Del Mar Charter School, board member of the South Coast LGBTQ Network, and a board member of the South Coast Chamber of Commerce. Join us in congratulating our 2019 Grand Marshal. Our honored guests this evening are the Honorable Consul General of Cabo Verde from Boston. I'm not sure if he made it in here yet. Oh, he did arrive. Welcome. Honorable Mayor John Mitchell, who's unable to be with us, but is being represented by Marcelina Pina Christian, Director of Human Resources for the City of New Bedford. Marcy. Ms. Amanda McMillan, President and CEO of the New Bedford Whaling Museum, due to a death in her family, she's unable to be with us this evening. So Dr. Akia Bernard is representing her, and she's the curator of social history in the museum. Dr. Bernard, where are you? Reverend Leona Fisher, in the Name of Jesus Church in New Bedford. Our 2015 recipient, Giovanni Sequeira, who will be the student speaker. He is a 2019 graduate of Stonehill College. And our guest speaker, Dr. Ricardo Rosa, Associate Professor of Public Policy at UMass Dartmouth. I want to thank the review committee who worked so diligently in selecting the recipients. Please stand. Dr. Bruce Rose, retired Assistant Chancellor of Academic Affairs at UMass Dartmouth. Mr. Kyle Cruz, retired probation officer in Probate Court. and Carol Spencer Montero, Assistant Vice Chancellor for Student Affairs. I also want to recognize Judge Harper and also Judge Harper. And we also have Representative Antonio Cabral with us this evening. Thank you for coming. And our school committee member, Jack Livramento. Last but far from the least, I'd like to present the members of the Scholarship Committee, Dr. Bruce Rose, Kyle Cruz, Norma Ballet, Dorothy Gomes, Gail Gonzalez, Cynthia Morris, Attorney Sylvia Gomes, Dr. Susan Coster, Carol Spencer Montero, and Jillian Silva Jones. Also members of the Recognition Committee are Mary Ann Rogers, our President, Diane Gomes, Chairperson of the Parade Committee, Nathan Montero, Jose Montero, and Ivan Brito. They have all made a huge contribution to make this a memorable and special evening. Also, our two honorary members, Juliana Hines and Emma Gomes. At this time, I would like to invite Reverend Leona Fisher to the podium to give the invocation.
Good evening. Please join me in prayer. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit, we have gathered here this evening to recognize the achievements of this committee, its supporters, and the scholarship recipients. But before we proceed, we must take this pause to recognize you, Father God, and to invoke your presence throughout this celebration. Because without you, where would we be? So we invite you, and we thank you for your continued grace, mercy, and love. May you be blessed and pleased by the love your people will show tonight. This I pray in the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen.
Okay. I would now like to have the Honorable Consul General of Cabo Verde, Herminio Moniz, to say a few words for us.
Good evening, everyone. Dear members of the Cape Verdean Recognition Committee, all protocol observed, it's a great pleasure and honor to be present at this scholarship award event. We consider your organization very important given all the work you have done over the decades. If there is one thing that characterizes us and of which we are proud as a people is solidarity. The solidarity allows us to break down financial barriers and grant a road to opportunities, especially for people who do not have many financial means. If we want a stronger community, we must invest in the education and future of our young people. As a consulate, we are very pleased to see the fruits that initiative has borne. Many of those who benefited in the past are now doctors, nurses, lawyers, managers, social workers, and community activists, and today proudly help those who need the most and contribute in their respective fields so that we have a community that is increasingly better, integrated, and respected. You can count on the support of the consulate wherever you deem appropriate, because this is a cause that we too embrace. Thank you very much.
Thank you for your kind words, Councilor Muniz. Now I would like to have Marcelina Pina Christian. She is representing Mayor John Mitchell, who is out of the state and was not able to be with us, but sends his best wishes to all the recipients. So Marcelina Pina Christian will be giving you greetings from the Mayor and the City of New Bedford.
Good evening, friends. President Rogers, Chairwoman Gonzalez, the entire CVRC board, distinguished guests, especially the 2019 scholarship recipients, on behalf of the Honorable Mayor John Mitchell, I bring you greetings from the City of New Bedford. The Mayor would also want to acknowledge the public officials in the room this evening, which Marilyn has already done. Thank you also, Amanda McMullen, for welcoming this program again in this beautiful historic space, which displays the gifts the Cape Verdean community gave to this city through their masterful and skillful whaling abilities at a time when the City of New Bedford was one of the richest cities in the world. They rose to become captains of those whaling ships, and young scholars, you can be proud of your history as much as we share today in the gifts that each of you will bring to the City of New Bedford as you begin your future journey. Mayor Mitchell would encourage you to study well and bring your talent back to the city. Chairwoman Gonzalez, Mayor Mitchell would also, as he has done in the past, every year commend you for your hard work, which you make seem effortless, but we all know differently. And he would commend you for your compassion, dedication, and commitment to ensuring that as many young people that need support receive it, you continue to raise the bar higher. It is a remarkable attainment, $385,000, and you can applaud that again. This committee has accomplished that under your leadership when you consider how much it has raised in support of college scholarships over the years. Congrats to all of you, and to the proud parents in the room, thank you for raising individuals that will be productive members of the society. Imagine if the world were filled with good parents, we'd have a better world. Again, thanks to all on behalf of the Office of the Mayor, and have an enjoyable evening.
Thank you very much, Marcy. Now we will have remarks from Dr. Akia Bernard, who will be representing the New Bedford Whaling Museum.
Good evening, everyone. Amanda McMullen does send her regrets. so I'll say a few brief words on her behalf. First, I'd like to welcome everyone to the New Bedford Whaling Museum. We are very proud and honored to be the institution that hosts this event and participates in this event year after year. We're very grateful to Marilyn. Again, you know, you said it, I can't say it any better. You work so hard and run around and put events together and just make this happen. And Marilyn and the entire committee are to be commended for this event being as wonderful as it is every year, so thank you. Definitely clap. I want to extend congratulations to all of the students, their families, their friends, whoever has supported you on your journey and will continue to do so. Congratulations on your achievement and best luck in your future endeavors. And also thank you to everyone who has contributed to this scholarship fund. It's amazing how the community comes together and invests. It really is an investment in the community, because I know you're going to go out and do big things and bring it all back to us. So congratulations and thank you in advance.
Thank you for your very kind words, Dr. Bernard. I would like to thank the New Bedford Whaling Museum for their generosity, their space, and contributions to our committee throughout the years. I encourage you to take out membership to the museum because of the importance of the contributions to the whaling and maritime by Cape Verdeans. I also encourage you to view the wonderful exhibits of Cabo Verde while you are here at the museum. There'll be an exhibit next Wednesday, Cape Verdean Voices. I'm sure everyone has read about it, and I believe it's on display right now, according to Dr. Bernard. So if you'd like to look at it this evening, you can, but the reception should be very, very nice next Wednesday, and I encourage you to come and see it. It's free, and it's going to be very interesting. Okay, at this time, I'd like to have Dr. Bruce Rose proceed with the program.
Each year, the Cape Verdean Recognition Committee invites a past recipient of the Cape Verdean Recognition Scholarship to address our scholarship awardees. This year, we have invited Mr. Giovanni Sequeira to share some words of wisdom and encouragement with our awardees. Giovanni Sequeira is a 2019 graduate of Stonehill College with a Bachelor of Arts degree majoring in healthcare administration with a minor in communication. Notably, Mr. Sequeira is an Upsilon Phi Delta Honor Society scholar. He is also a 2015 graduate of New Bedford High School. While at Stonehill College, Giovanni was actively engaged in campus diversity and inclusion efforts, serving as coordinator for not one, but 3 organizations: the Student of Color Empowerment Committee, United House of Justice, and the Shift Leadership Program. Also, Giovanni wasted no time while at Stonehill. He completed 2 internships, one at the U.S. Department of Veterans Affairs in Brockton, and the other with the AIDS Healthcare Foundation. Giovanni was also active in his home community of New Bedford, where he was a member of the New Bedford NAACP Youth Council and was presented with the Outstanding Youth Award by NAACP in 2017 in recognition of his academic rigor, community service, and social justice pursuits. Giovanni aspires to pursue a career in healthcare administration to develop and implement policies that will bring about change to better serve the underserved and marginalized populations. Please welcome 2015 Cape Verdean Recognition Scholarship Awardee, Mr. Giovanni Sequeira.
Hello, everyone. So So I first want to thank Dr. Bruce Rose and everyone on the Cape Verdean Recognition Scholarship Committee for giving me this opportunity to speak to you all today. I also want to give a special thanks to all the parents, grandparents, guardians, cousins, aunts, and uncles who are here today in support of our 2019 graduates. And to our graduates, congratulations to you all. So when I was asked to speak at this event, I felt a range of different emotions. I felt nervous, kind of like I am right now. I was excited, and I was also surprised because it had been 4 years that had passed since I was sitting in those same exact chairs waiting to get my scholarship. And now I'm here speaking on the past 4 years of college. College was hard, and there was no doubt about it. Starting school all over again in a place where you don't know many people, you're learning your way around campus, trying to find time to socialize, do work, go to class, study, work out, be involved on campus, drink enough water, and sleep, and that's just to name a few. At first, it can be very overwhelming, but you'll learn to balance everything out. I stressed out more thinking about all of the things that I had to do than when I actually did them. If you ever find yourself struggling in classes, labs, or any of your courses, don't hesitate to ask for help. Your professors and advisors are there to help. This is something I struggled with because I felt I'd be a bother. Know that you're not a bother, and there are people at your school who are there to help and actually want to help you. For those of you who haven't decided on a school yet, who haven't declared a major, who are already stressing about how to answer questions A, B, and C, know that it's okay not to have the answer right away. People might ask you, what are you majoring in? Or where are you going to school? What classes are you taking? Or what are you going to do with your degree? Are you doing an internship? It's okay to say, I'm not sure yet, or I'm still figuring it out. Because like most of us in this room, we're figuring each thing out day by day. We're learning as we go. Be proud of yourself and live in the moment. Self-care is also an important part of your college experience. At times, things may feel overwhelming, whether it's due to classes, school bills, whatever the case may be. Remember that your health comes first, whether it be physical, mental, or emotional. Make sure that you're taking time for yourself, like taking a break from studying, going for a walk, listening to music, or what I did was talk to my friends more than I should have in the library. Whatever it may be, make sure that you're looking out for you and your well-being, because it's a crucial part in making the most out of your college experience. So a fear that I had going to college was the fear that I would fail, or that I wouldn't pass my classes, I'd have to drop out. And I carried this fear for the 4 years that I was in college up until the day of my graduation. Not because I was the first in my family to go to college, not because I was the first generation born in America, and not because I couldn't do it, but because I carried a weight. This weight was from one of my elementary school teachers who told me in front of my class that people like me end up working in factories. That I was a zero, and that I would be thrown in the trash once I got to middle school. So a little advice for those of you present in the room today. Don't carry the weight of your doubters, or what I like to call them, haters. For those of you who've had or currently have doubters in your life, the people that put you down, the people that talk bad at you, you put those doubters in the back of your mind. The people that love you, the people that care about you, the people that you share your emotions with, those who know your fears, and people you open yourselves up to, you put them in the front of your mind. Because those are the people that will see you struggle. These are the people that will support you, the ones that will cheer you on, and the ones that will watch you fall and be there to pick you up. And maybe you have an aunt or uncle that tells you what to do all the time, or bothers you, or is doing too much. You can put them in the middle because not everyone can fit in the front. But on a serious note, when you get to where you worked hard to be, when you made an achievement, when you've accomplished a goal, move that doubter to the front of your mind and show them what they didn't see in you. But do it knowing the only person capable of stopping you is you. I want to again thank everyone who is here present today. We should acknowledge and be proud of our 2019 graduate recipients in the room, because in a system that is set to watch them fail, they continue to thrive. Cape Verdeans continue to thrive. The people of New Bedford continue to thrive. and nothing can stop them, and nothing can stop any of us. This committee believes in you. The people who came to support you believe in you. I believe in you, and it's up to you to believe in you. Congratulations, class of 2019, and moving forward, best of luck, class of 2023.
Our keynote speaker may have a tough act to follow here. Keynote speaker tonight is a very special individual, not only because of the challenges he has overcome and the accomplishments he has registered, but also because of his contributions and dedication to the preservation and improvement of public education in New Bedford and the state of Massachusetts. Dr. Ricardo Rosa immigrated to the United States from Cape Verde at the age of 6 with his family. He was raised in Brockton, Massachusetts, and educated in its public school system. Upon graduation from Brockton High School, he went on to Massasoit Community College, where he met some professors who inspired and challenged him to aspire to excellence in education and leadership. While at Massasoit, in addition to being elected president of the International Club and president of the Student Government Association, he was awarded the prestigious Green Key Award for his service to Massasoit. He was also selected for an internship in the U.S. Congress in the office of then Congressman Joe Moakley. Dr. Rosa went on to complete a degree in political science and international relations with a concentration in Africana studies at the College of the Holy Cross. He earned a master's in applied linguistics and bilingual education at UMass Boston, and went on to complete his doctoral degree in education at the University of Wisconsin-Madison. Dr. Rosa is currently Associate Professor of Public Policy at UMass Dartmouth, where he has mentored many students, including numerous Cape Verdean students from the New Bedford area and beyond, guiding them to complete their PhDs in education and public policy. He has also authored 2 books and several scholarly articles. Beyond his academic pursuits, Dr. Rosa honors his deep commitment to civic engagement in his home community, serving as co-chair of the New Bedford Save Our Schools Committee. New Bedford Coalition to Save Our Schools, where he continues to fight valiantly to preserve and improve the integrity and quality in public education in New Bedford. In addition, at the age of 17, he opened up a martial arts school in Brockton and continues to train students in the martial arts at the New Bedford Boys and Girls Club. He has won numerous martial arts competitions at the regional, national, and international levels. His students as well have won many prestigious awards, including one who qualified for the Olympic Games in 2004. As you can see, Dr. Rosa is a multifaceted scholar, activist, and honorable community member. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Dr. Ricardo Rosa.
So I know that I definitely cannot follow Giovanni. That was brilliant, brother. Appreciate it. So I thank the CV, the Cape Verdean Recognition Committee for this invitation and your magnificent work. This is just the culmination of a lot of heavy lifting throughout the year, I'm sure. So thank you immensely. You know, Howard Zinn, a very well-known historian in the United States who passed away, wrote a book called The People's History of the United States. Highly recommend it. That's your summer reading right there. All right? And he says to be hopeful in bad times is not just foolishly romantic. It is based on the fact that human history is a history not only of cruelty, but also of compassion, sacrifice, courage, and kindness. If we see only the worst, it destroys our capacity to do something. The future is an infinite succession of presents, and to live now as we think human beings should live, in defiance of all that is bad around us, is itself a marvelous victory. So I want to begin with that and just say that this committee's work is so deeply hopeful. I mean, this is truly great work that you're doing as a committee. And I love the fact that you're not only about identity and culture, you're also about lending material support to young people. So I thank you very much for your work. I am extremely proud of you, students, young people. And I think of your accomplishments in the work of this committee in light of something that's been ongoing in the news, the 2019 college admissions bribery scandal. You know about all that, right? Nicknamed Operation Varsity Blues, where federal prosecutors, accused 33 parents of paying more than $25 million between 2011 and 2018 to fraudulently, inflate scores on entrance exams and bribe college officials. As egregious as that is, I'm convinced, that it's only the tip of the iceberg. It's a reflection of those who were caught, basically. It's a reflection of an explicit crime that abstracts, the subtle forms of influence, privilege, and networks that the elite utilize to gain advantage. So if we zoom out of Operation Varsity Blues, and we look at it as a microcosm of a larger, really corrupt system working against the poor, working against working people, and communities of color and immigrant communities. Aside from the massive tax breaks for the wealthy and stagnant wages for the rest of us, aside from the corporate control of local, state, and nationally elected officials, not all of them, aside from the fact of a tax on Medicare, the lack of quality and affordable public transportation, aside from the racist manipulation of the political process, we see voter suppression laws happening across the country. These are all huge matters that the media evades, right? There are other structural obstacles in education that remains off the radar in the current conversations about the college scandals. So let me list just some of them, because I think it's important for us to take an inventory of these things in light of this accomplishment here. A Foundation Budget Review Commission study in 2015 found significant underfunding of public school systems in Massachusetts. New Bedford alone is underfunded by $40 million every year. All right? And, not too long ago, I went to a concert at the high school where, we're talking about a whaling city band that's very well known in the state. And the performance actually had to stop because one of the kids had a mouthpiece that was dysfunctional. And so the conductor came in with tape, with electrical tape to put it back together because of the issue of underfunding and not being able to adequately supply the marching band, So in light of that, I just want to say that I am amazingly proud of you, for being able, to compete in the same college entrance exams as kids from Newton, from Brookline, or anywhere else. It's amazing. It's an amazing accomplishment, and you guys should be applauded for that. So despite the fact that, we have data compiled by the Alliance to Reclaim Our Schools that concludes that between 2005 and 2017, public schools were underfunded by $580 billion by Title I in IDEA federal dollars alone, money that is targeted especially to support our most vulnerable students. Despite these odds, you've made it. You also have very seductive forms of educational privatization that go on all the time, that constantly threatens to siphon more money from our public school systems. You have the reliance on high-stakes testing and a test prep education that really dulls the senses, while moving wealth out of our communities and into the hands of the corporations that make the test, that sell the curriculum to have you pass the test, right? That scores the test, that sells the computers and the softwares that allow you to take the test, right? And there's also a lack of serious commitment, not only in this state, but throughout the country, to seriously, diversify the profession of teaching. There's a lack of serious effort to institute a culturally relevant curriculum, one that puts your experience at the center, right? One that sees you as a subject rather than an object, right? Giovanni captured it very well. I think a lot of the K through 12 experience, not only in this state, but across the country, really, is really, what we're really seeing is an education that asks us constantly, to stop existing so as to exist, And my message to you today is to never settle for that as you move forward. Embrace who you are and know that all of these things that you've been told in the past, these things are strengths, that you should use to move forward. We should always enter the language and the culture of power, right? We should learn those things, but at the same time, we should learn to remake it so that it speaks beyond the boundaries of domination. And we have great examples in this country of folks who do that all the time. Toni Morrison, we have Fannie Lou Hamer, we have Ella Baker, and so many others, many of whom are in this room as well, other people in this room. Despite the odds, we have significant wins in the New Bedford public school system. All right, I'm speaking about New Bedford because I happen to live here. I know that some of you come from elsewhere. But New Bedford High School, for example, had the highest number of AP certificates, advanced placement certificates, awarded to Massachusetts high schools in 2018, representing 38% of all the certificates issued in the state of Massachusetts. That is amazing. We have an award-winning marching band, as I mentioned. The James Congdon School met or exceeded 95% of all its targets and placed in the 85th percentile for the state for all growth indicators. Congdon is one of only 51 schools across the Commonwealth to earn the School of Recognition title. Of course, I don't wish to normalize high-stakes testing as an adequate measure, but that's by the state's own sort of accountability measures. So more importantly, so we have a number of thriving elementary schools, but more importantly, aside from all of these great things that New Bedford has, more importantly, we have you. Again, despite all of those odds, you're here and you're thriving. I want to say, I'm going to be quick because I know that I'm the only person that's standing between you and your award, so I'll be fast there. I want to say that you come from a community of excellence and genius. You really do. And I'm going to cover just the United States context right now, but know that as Cape Verdeans, you're actually, you exist within a diaspora, right, of excellence and genius, I have one brother and one sister. I'm a professor at the University of Massachusetts, Dartmouth. My brother is an administrator and a professor at Bridgewater State University. My sister is a professor at Rhode Island College. My brother and I are advisors to the CVSA, the Cape Verdean Student Association, at our respective institutions, and my sister is working with students to create or expand one at Rhode Island College. My siblings and I are where we are because we've been supported by our community in so many concrete and subtle ways, right? My parents never went to one parent-teacher conference, but they never failed to express the importance of education to us at home. In fact, our culture constantly reinforced that, despite what we often hear in schools that our parents don't care. And the fact is that we care so much that we entrust teachers fully with our children. So I want to let you know that, we stand on the shoulders of so much greatness. Many of those people are right here in the room, in the flesh, right? Bertolt Brecht once, and Giovanni is one of them as well, okay, closer to your age. Bertolt Brecht once wrote a poem called Questions from a Worker Who Reads, and it goes something like this: Who built the 7 towers of Thebes? The books are filled with names of kings. Was it kings who hauled the craggy blocks of stone? And it goes on and on and on. But I'll stop there. So I just want to say that cities, states, and countries are not built by those at the top. They're built by workers. New Bedford was once one of the richest cities in the United States. And Cape Verdean labor, as oppressive as it was critical to that distinction. So too was the economy of the entire state. In religion, you have the influence of Big Daddy Grace, one of the first evangelists in the United States. His church had a significant economic impact, right? Offshoots of his church can be found today all the way in North Carolina, right? In the military, you have Cape Verdean soldiers in the United States Army that go as far back as the Revolutionary War in this country. You have Cape Verdeans participating in every war since. Gary Brito, who is the first Cape Verdean Brigadier General, was Cape Verdean. Henry de Grace, who returned to New Bedford from World War II with 2 Purple Hearts and a Bronze Star. In music, you have tremendous genius like Horace Silver, who composed a song called, a composition called Songs of My Father. Now, that's not just any composition. Today, that is a standard in jazz, right? In fact, it is so much a standard that up to 2017, it was recorded 147 times by different artists. You have the Tavares brothers in the 70s. You have Paul Gonsalves, who played saxophone with Duke Ellington. In fact, Ellington's resurgence is often credited to Paul Gonsalves' 17-minute solo at the Newport Jazz Festival, right? In law, you have George Layton, who served as United States District Judge. In academics, you have Terza Lima Neves, you have Amina Pilgrim, professors, you have Donaldo Macedo, you have administrators such as Bruce Rose, Dana Molafaria, right? Paul Barros, Peggy Diaz, Carol Spencer. In politics, Representative Liz Miranda and Vinnie Di Macedo in the Massachusetts legislature, Ivando Carvalho, who served until this year. Local officials like Moses Rodriguez and Dana Ribeiro, the list goes on and on and on, right? You also have trailblazers, right, in United States history. Mateus de Souza was an indentured servant to a British priest who arrived in Maryland in 1638, before Lord Baltimore, for whom Baltimore is named. The first person of color, other than Native Americans, to settle Seattle, Washington was Cape Verdean. His name was Manuel Lopes in 1856. So, I'll stop there because the list is long. The importance of higher education in the pursuit of leadership that matters. Just last comment. I'm a big supporter of higher education, especially public higher education, because I feel that it's one place where critical dialogues about injustice and how we might collectively work to transform the world still happens. I'm convinced that it's one of the reasons why so many obstacles exist in getting us there, right? If you're lucky, you'll graduate from your college or university a great deal angrier than when you entered, and more hopeful in knowing that you're better equipped to channel that rage in constructive and positive projects to transform your community and the world. So my invitation to you, in the future or in the present, you may already be there, no matter what field you go into, relate your work to a passionate search for equity and social justice. No matter where you stand, ask embarrassing questions that provoke institutions to change in the interest of those who bear the most social cost, right? It's not easy, given the crushing student debt that many people will have upon graduating from college. It's almost like debt is designed to keep you silent, to keep you complacent. Many of my students ask me, well, I can't do what you're asking. What if I lose my job? Well, I'm going to be very real with you. A great deal of good jobs are being erased, and jobs with significantly less dignity are being created. So silence will not protect any of us, and silence will certainly not protect our jobs, right? The point is to resist strategically, collectively, to study your context well. Each institution offers different opportunities for contestation, but the important thing is that we never, ever stand still, right? You're living in a great moment. You have the Black Lives Matter movement, you have the Youth Dreamers movement, you have Moral Mondays, you have LGBTQ equity movements throughout the country, you have eco-justice movements, you have anti-imperial and anti-militarism movements, gender equity and justice movements. So I implore you, join an organization, join a movement, join more than one, and take seriously the words of Martin Luther King Jr., who once said, "Injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere." I applaud you. Congratulations.
Well, next, we're going to have Kyle Cruz and Gail Gonzalez to make the presentations for the scholarships. Here's the good part of the evening. Bruce, a gift? Bruce.
As a token of our appreciation to the keynote speaker, we'd like to present him with this gift from the Cape Verdean Recognition Committee.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I like that. Before we introduce you to this year's recipients, let me first describe how they were selected. Applications were sent to area high schools, and students were required to send in 2 letters of recommendations, a certified copy of their transcript, college acceptance letters, and an essay of their choice. The recipients were selected on the basis of scholastic standing, financial needs, extracurricular activities, and leadership skills. The committee was impressed by this year's applications. 75% of the students were taking advanced placements and honors classes, were members of the Honor Society, and were graduating in the top 20% of their class. Several of tonight's students graduated in the top 10 of their class. Over 50% of this year's recipients were accepted to 3 or more colleges and universities. 1 was accepted to 7 colleges. Many students were working a number of jobs, and 1 student working 32 hours per week in addition to their school obligations. A large number of this year's recipients chose fields that were very personal to them and their families. Others chose a childhood dream. I think when you hear tonight the field that some of these students chose, you'll be proud to know that our future is in good hands. A number of tonight's recipients have overcome substantial obstacles to be here. This year's essays were very personal, moving, and clever in their content and writing style. Several were worthy of reading tonight. In fact, a few students left us with some memorable quotes. "I want to be a nurse. I know that I have found what I love and what I am put on earth to do. I shouldn't be motivated by rewards, but by my own personal development. I refuse to be labeled as just an other. I learned to dig deep and work 10 times harder. And finally, I take the rocks they throw at me and I build my way to dreams." Several of tonight's students will be attending some of the top colleges and universities in the nation. We have a number of recipients who were born in Cabo Verde and who want to someday return and help the people of Cabo Verde. Through the generosity of our sponsors, ad books, and fundraisers, we will be awarding 8 $750 scholarships, 13 $1,000 scholarships, 5 $1,500 scholarships, 4 $2,000 scholarships, and 3 $2,500 scholarships to 33 students. We thank the parents, guardians, and caregivers for this outstanding group of students. As I begin to introduce these students, many of these scholarships, as we've said earlier, have sponsors. We're going to have the sponsors stand in front of where the flowers and the students meet them, and then the students come here to say a few words. So, our first student is going to be Kylie Almeida, and we're going to ask John B. Cruz III, President and CEO of Cruz Companies, to come down and present this scholarship. We ask Cynthia Morris and Norma Ballet to help. Kylie Almeida is the daughter of Kaya Lopes. She graduated from St. Andrew's School, will be attending Barry University in the fall. She will be studying neuropsychology. Her scholarship tonight is in the amount of $2,000.
Hi. I just wanted to thank the Cape Verdean Recognition Committee and my sponsors.
I'd like to ask Rich Medic to come down, please. Our next recipient is Ruth Amato. Ruth Amato is the daughter of Ulysses and Maria Amato. She's a graduate of New Bedford High School. She will be attending the University of Massachusetts at Dartmouth. Her major will be biochemistry, and tonight her scholarship is in the amount of $2,500.
I would like, in this special moment, to thank God, first of all, for giving me this opportunity to come here, to come thrive in this country, achieve all my dreams, thanks to my family, to the Cape Verdean Recognition community, to the sponsors. I'm not going to disappoint you guys. Thank you.
I'm going to ask Cynthia Rose to come down. Our next recipient is Mary Bancroft. Mary Bancroft is the daughter of Paul and Gloria Bancroft. She's a graduate of New Bedford High School. She will be attending Northeastern University in the fall. Her major will be political science and English. Tonight, her scholarship is sponsored by Jeanette Gonçalves and the Cape Verdean Recognition Committee. Your scholarship is in the amount of $1,000.
Hi, I would like to thank the Cape Verdean Recognition Committee for supporting students in the community with scholarships. I know it takes a lot of hard work to raise those funds, and I'm really appreciative. I'd also like to thank Ms. Gonçalves, my sponsor, for her generosity, and my parents for their support. Thank you.
I'd like to ask Sylvia Barrows and Stephan and Kevin Baptista to come down. Our next recipient is Courtney Carrero. She is the daughter of Gina and Ernest and Paul Carrero. She is a graduate of Greater New Bedford Regional Vocational Technical High School. She will be studying nursing. Her scholarship is sponsored by the estate of John Ramus and the Grant Pierce Housing. Your scholarship is in the amount of $2,000.
Hi, everyone. I would just like to thank the committee and the donors for making this award possible. By awarding me this scholarship, you have lightened my financial burden, which allows me to focus on the most important aspect of school, which is learning. So I cannot thank you enough.
I'm going to ask Norma Belay to come forward to present this next scholarship. The scholarship is for Gregory Centeo III. Gregory is the son of Gregory and Kim Centeo. He's a graduate of Fairhaven High School. He will be attending Dean College in the fall. He will be majoring in sports management. His scholarship is in the name of Lindsay Grace, a former student, and the CVRC, and your scholarship is in the amount of $750.
I just want to thank the committee for allowing me to receive this scholarship, and to all the sponsors who make all this happen. Thank you. And my family. Love you.
I'd like to ask Attorney Scott Lang and former Mayor of the City of New Bedford to come forward. And he's got a little journey. Our next scholarship is presented to Brianna Chang. Brianna Chang is the daughter of Thomas and Fatima Chang. She's a graduate of Fairhaven High School. She will be attending Worcester State University in the fall. Her studies will be environmental studies, and her scholarship is in the amount of $1,000.
Hi guys, I just wanted to say thank you to the Cape Verdean Recognition Scholarship, and as well as all of the donors. Thank you for helping me continue my education. Thank you.
I'm going to ask Cynthia Morris to come forward with this next scholarship on behalf of the Cape Verdean Recognition Committee. It will be presented to Cameron Costa. Cameron Costa is the son of Melissa Costa. He's a graduate of Greater New Bedford Regional Vocational Technical High School. He will be attending Bristol Community College in the fall. He'll be majoring in political science. Tonight, his scholarship is in the amount of $750.
Good evening. I'd like to thank the Scholarship Committee, and I'd like to thank Ms. Marilyn Gonzalez for her continued love and support through my high school career. And I'd also like to thank my mother and sister back there for coming out to see me. Thank you.
Our next scholarship is going to be going to Samantha Costa. I'm going to ask Norma Belay to come to present this scholarship. And representing Samantha will be her mother, Jacqueline Costa. Samantha is the daughter of Robert and Jacqueline Costa. She's a graduate of Fairhaven High School. She'll be attending Providence College in the fall. Her major will be art and English. Her scholarship tonight is in the amount of $750, and this scholarship is sponsored by the Cape Verdean Recognition Committee.
Thank you, everyone. I just want to thank the Cape Verdean Recognition Committee for providing her with this scholarship. Samantha was really upset that she couldn't come today, but she did ask me to thank everybody and is very proud to receive this scholarship. Thank you.
I'm going to ask Julia Heine-Becks to come forward for this next scholarship. This scholarship will be presented to Nathan Abreu Cruz. Nathan Abreu Cruz is the son of Marlene Abreu and Joan Cruz. He's a graduate of Global Learning Charter Public Schools. He will be attending Clark University in the fall. His major is undecided. His scholarship tonight is in the amount of $1,500.
I just wanted to thank the Recognition Committee and its sponsors for giving me this opportunity, as well as all my teachers and classmates that kept me motivated throughout the years. Thank you.
I would like to ask Tony Almeida to come forward. Our next recipient is Jeremy DeCruz. Jeremy is the son of Linera Lima. He's a graduate of New Bedford High School. He will be attending Stonehill College in the fall. His major will be psychology. Tonight, his scholarship is in honor of Dr. Eleanor Ponce, and his scholarship is in the amount of $1,500.
I'd just like to say thank you to the committee and my sponsor. I'd really like to thank my family members and coaches, teachers, all my friends and everyone who's supported me. Thank you.
I'm going to ask Dr. Akia Bernard to come forward. Our next recipient is Maya Gomez. Maya Gomez is the daughter of Roselia Gomez. She's a graduate of the Global Learning Charter Public Schools. She will be attending Bristol Community College in the fall. She will be studying psychology. Her scholarship is sponsored by the Old Dartmouth Historical Society and the Cape Verdean Recognition Committee. Her scholarship is in the amount of $1,000.
Hello, I would like to appreciate our committee for giving us the chance to get our scholarships and our donors for donating. Thank you.
I'd like to have Victor Fonseca and Scott Lang to come forward for this next scholarship. Victor Fonseca was the 2015 Parade Marshal for the Cape Verdean Recognition Parade. Our next scholarship will be presented to Davian Gonzalez. Davian Gonzalez is the daughter of Leanne Fisher and David Gonzalez. She's a graduate of the Greater New Bedford Regional Vocational Technical High School. She will be attending Regis College in the fall. She will be studying nursing. Her scholarship is in the name of Eugenia DaCosta and John Costa and Damalis Foundation. That is the Market Basket. Her scholarship is in the amount of $2,000.
Good evening. I would just like to thank this committee for allowing me to further my education, and I would like to give a huge thanks to my mom and grandmother for helping me every step of the way. Thank you.
I'm going to ask Brendan Cabral to come down. Our next scholarship will be awarded to Razia Green. Razia Green is the daughter of Ali Set George. She's a graduate of the Greater New Bedford Regional Vocational Technical High School. She will be attending Bridgewater State University in the fall. Her major will be psychology. This scholarship is presented by Valerie Cabral, but given to her by her cousin, Brendan Cabral. This scholarship is in the amount of $1,000.
I would like to thank a special thanks to my donor, but also to the Cape Verdean Recognition Committee that allowed me this opportunity to receive this. And I just want to let you guys know that because of this help, I can pursue my dreams and my purpose to helping people. Thank you.
I'm going to ask Norma Ballet to present this next scholarship on behalf of the Cape Verdean Recognition Committee. This scholarship will be going to Amy Lynn Guai. Amy Lynn is the daughter of Salamata Cease and Sid Guai. She's a graduate of Bishop Stang High School. She will be attending the University of Massachusetts at Amherst. Her major will be psychology, and her scholarship is in the amount of $750.
Good evening, everyone. I would like to thank the committee for this scholarship and especially my donor for investing in my future to eventually become a clinical psychologist. And if anyone knows me, they know I complained my way through high school, and that's the only way I got through it. So I want to thank my friends, my family for giving me the tools and the knowledge to be in the place I am now and to lead me to success later on.
I'm going to ask Cynthia Morris to present this next scholarship on behalf of the Cape Verdean Recognition Committee. This scholarship will be going to Leela Hernandez. Leela Hernandez is the daughter of Jamie Lynn Pierce. She's a graduate of City on a Hill. She'll be attending the University of Massachusetts at Dartmouth. Her major will be criminal justice. Her scholarship is in the amount of $750.
I would like to thank my family, the Cape Verdean Recognition Committee, and my donor for this opportunity.
I'm going to ask Donald Gomes to come forward. Our next recipient is Jordan Lopes. Jordan Lopes' guardian is Darcy Lopes. She's a graduate of Bishop Stang High School. She will be attending Stonehill College in the fall. She will be majoring in psychology. Her scholarship is sponsored by the United Front Development Corporation. Her scholarship is in the amount of $1,000.
Hi, everyone. Good evening. Of course, I want to take a minute to thank my family for being there every step of the way through my mom passing away, through every trials and tribulations that I've gone through, middle school, high school, and getting into the process of being around people who don't accept people of color. And also I want to thank everyone in the crowd because I see a lot of familiar faces from when I was younger at OLOA, which I know a lot of members are present today, and the parade, and even the YWCA, and you guys have all believed in me from the start, even when I didn't believe in myself. I also want to thank a lot of the members that I'm close friends with, because that means I've surrounded myself by people who have similar interests in me and want to pursue a bright future just as I do. So thank you.
I'm going to ask Devin and Kevin Baptista to come down. Our next recipient will be Madison Mazoya. Madison Mazoya is the daughter of Leah Gamboa Mazoa and Leon Mazoa. She's a graduate of Dartmouth High School. She will be attending Quinnipiac University in the fall. She plans to major in physician assistant studies. Her scholarship is sponsored by the Cornell Management. Her scholarship is in the amount of $1,500.
Hi, I would first like to thank my family for supporting me and encouraging me throughout all of high school, and then a very special thanks to the committee and my sponsor. Thank you so much. It doesn't go underappreciated. Thanks.
I'm going to ask Gail Gonsalves to come down now to present the next half of these scholarships.
Good evening, everyone. I am joined by Dottie Gomes and Jillian Silva Jones. Our next scholarship recipient is Daylin McLean, who is unable to be with us tonight. Her scholarship award is sponsored by Mr. Richard Medic. Daylin McLean is the daughter of Kenneth and Christine McLean. She is a graduate of Fairhaven High School and will be attending UMass Dartmouth, majoring in biology. Her scholarship is in the amount of $2,500. Our next scholarship is sponsored by Mr. Brandon Roderick, owner of The Baker, and former CVRC scholarship recipient. I'd like to ask Mr. Roderick to please come forward to present the next award. This award is being presented to Trinity Mendes. Trinity is the daughter of Shailene Mendes and a graduate of Greater New Bedford Regional Vocational Technical High School, and she will be attending Bristol Community College, majoring in business. Her scholarship is in the amount of $1,000.
I'd like to thank my family for always supporting me and making me the strong woman that I hope to become. And I'd like to thank my donors for giving me this opportunity. So, thank you.
Our next scholarship is sponsored by Miss Juliana Hines. Would I like to ask her to please come forward? This award is presented to Kelly DeRosa Mendoza. Kelly is the daughter of Maria and Cruz Mendoza and a graduate of New Bedford High School. She will be attending Stonehill College, majoring in biochemistry. Her scholarship is in the amount of $1,500.
Hi, good evening. I just wanted to start off saying this scholarship does mean a lot, especially with the decreasing support that we get from the government with higher education. So with that, it gives me almost like a weight off my shoulders, allowing me to pursue not only my academic goals, but personal goals as well. I want to thank Giovanni and Renee for helping me throughout this hectic decision of picking schools and all that. So thank you.
Our next scholarship is sponsored by the Cape Verdean Recognition Committee, and I'd like to ask Dottie Gomes to please present. And this award is being presented to Megan Pereira. Megan is the daughter of Stephanie and Edgar Pereira. She is a graduate of Dartmouth High School and will be attending Bridgewater State University, majoring in education. Her award is in the amount of $750.
I would just like to thank the Cape Verdean Recognition Scholarship Committee. Because of your generous support, all of my goals are now within my reach. So thank you.
Our next scholarship is sponsored by Mr. Edward J. Rogers and Mr. John Costa of Costa's Karate and Mr. Eugenio DaCosta in memory of their mother, Eugenia DaCosta. Our sponsors are unable to be here tonight. Presenting for Mr. Edward Rogers is his wife, Marianne Rogers, and presenting for Costa's Karate is Victor Fonseca. Our award recipient is Kiari Perkins. Kiari is the daughter of Keisha, Rose, and Robert Perkins. She is a graduate of Global Learning Charter Public School. She will be attending Bristol Community College, majoring in psychology and social work. Her scholarship is in the amount of $1,000.
Hi. I'm a little tall there. I would like to thank everyone, for coming today. I'd like to thank the committee, and I'd like to thank my sponsors, but I'd also like to thank my family for being a good support system, and for all the women of color that have continued to, keep me on this path of fighting on for our people, and for women, people call all that stuff. I just want to say thank you. I love everybody. Goodbye.
The next scholarship award is sponsored by Eversource Energy. At this time, I'd like to ask Mr. Dennis Galvam, Outreach Projects for Strategic Planning Manager at Eversource, to please come forward and present this award. This award is being presented to Rachel Perry. Rachel is the daughter of Deborah and Mark Perry and a graduate of Old Rochester Regional High School. She will be attending Cornell University, majoring in hospitality management and accounting. Her scholarship is in the amount of $1,000.
Good evening, everyone. I just wanted to say thank you so much to my parents for helping me along the way of this really hectic journey of getting here, but I also really want to thank the Cape Verdean Recognition Committee as well as my sponsor, Eversource, and also all of the other sponsors for helping all of us get to where we are today, as well as for helping us pursue our dreams in the future. So thank you.
Our next scholarship award is sponsored by the Cape Verdean Recognition Committee, and I'd like to ask Jillian Silva-Jones to please present. This award is given in honor of Judge George Layton and is presented to Karin Pina. Karin is the son of Myron Pina and Jan Matthew. He is a graduate of Tabor Academy and will be attending Trinity College. His major will be political science. His scholarship is in the amount of $1,000.
Hi, I'd like to thank the recognition committee for selecting me, my donor for providing the financial support. I'd like to thank my mom for being someone I could always talk to and believing in me. I'd like to thank my dad. I know we bump heads a lot, and but I appreciate everything you do for me. You push me, and I don't think I could have did it without you. And to my little sister Stoney, I hope to see you up here one day. Thank you.
Our next scholarship is sponsored by Miss Gracia Hillman and will be presented by Marilyn Gonsalves. Our scholarship recipient is Lauren Pina. Lauren is the daughter of Sharon Roberts and David Pina and a graduate of Old Rochester Regional High School. She will be attending the University of New Hampshire, and at present her major is undecided. Her scholarship is in the amount of $1,000.
Hi, I would like to thank the Recognitions Committee as well as my donor and my family for always supporting me.
At this time, I'd like to ask Dr. Susan and Mr. Tony Costa to please come forward to present the next scholarship in memory of their son, Corey. This scholarship is being presented to Nivaldo Rocha. Nivaldo is the son of Susanna Borges. He is a graduate of New Bedford High School and will be attending Bristol Community College, where he will major in computer science. His scholarship is in the amount of $1,000.
Is the mic working? I was actually Googling while you guys figuring out the scholarships and whatever. I couldn't find the right speech, so I'm just gonna say, man, this thing, this scholarship means a lot to me because 3 years ago, I told myself I wasn't going to school anymore. I told myself I was nothing, and I actually tried to commit suicide, and it wasn't something really easy for me. It happens twice to me. I was it was something God came to me saying showed me a light, saying that thing was look at your mom, look at the people who really loves you, that want to see you going big. But I wanna also thank the Cape Verdean community, Cape Verdean community and the sponsors for giving me this opportunity to pursue my education. And actually, I have this big dream of one day becoming a software engineer. But back in the days, I was I wasn't gonna make it, but right now, it means.
Our next scholarship award is sponsored by Mr. and Mrs. Jack Ritchie in honor of the Tavares. I'd like to ask Mr. Arthur Pooch Tavares and Mr. Ralph Tavares to please come forward to present this award. The award recipient is Tanner Rosa. Tanner is the son of the late Donna Rosa and is here with his guardian, Andrea Rose Wheatley. He is a graduate of Tabor Academy and will be attending Dartmouth College. His major will be in biology. His scholarship is in the amount of $2,500.
I would just like to say thank you to my family and my friends and anybody who helped me on this journey. I know a lot of times I was discouraged. I know a lot of times I felt like I couldn't do it, but you guys helped me persevere. Thank you so much.
Our next scholarship is sponsored by the Cape Verdean Recognition Committee, and I'd like to ask Dottie Gomes to please present. Our next scholarship recipient is Shane Rose. Shane is the son of Jennifer and Christopher Rose and a graduate of Dartmouth High School. He will be attending UMass Amherst, majoring in chemical engineering. His scholarship is in the amount of $750.
I'd like to thank the recognition committee and all of the sponsors. I can't even imagine how much it takes to support one scholarship, and the committee and the sponsors have allowed us to have over 30 scholarships, so thank you so much.
Our next scholarship is in honor of Dr. Eleanor Ponce and will be presented by her cousin, Tony Almeida. This scholarship is presented to Cheyenne Royster. Cheyenne is the granddaughter of Candida Royster. She is a graduate of Global Learning Charter Public School and will be attending Bristol Community College. She will major in psychology. Her scholarship is in the amount of $1,500.
I would like to thank the committee. This is a really great opportunity. And I would like to thank my donor because, Lord knows I need it. And, I thank you for investing in me and all the donors that invest in this generation. You investing in this generation is investing in your future because we are your future. Thank you.
Our next scholarship recipient is Kaylee Ann Sanchez, who is unable to be with us this evening. Her scholarship award is sponsored by the Cape Verdean Recognition Committee. Kaylee is the daughter of Jessica and Joshua Sanchez. She is a graduate of Fairhaven High School and will be attending the University of Massachusetts, Dartmouth. Her major will be in psychology. Her scholarship is in the amount of $750. Our next scholarship is sponsored by the Cape Verdean Recognition Committee, and I'd like to ask Jillian Silver Jones to please present. This scholarship is presented to Haley Stanley. Haley is the daughter of Deanne Gomes Stanley and Gerald Stanley. She is a graduate of Greater New Bedford Regional Vocational Technical High School and will be attending Bridgewater State University, majoring in business management. Her scholarship is in the amount of $1,000.
First off, I'd like to say thank you to the Recognition Committee and for the donors for being strong advocates for the advancement of our education. And I'd like to thank my family, who has always been there for me and always supported me and helped me to be the best that I can. Thank you.
Our next scholarship is sponsored by the Cape Verdean Recognition Committee, and I'd like to ask Dottie Gomes to please present. This scholarship is awarded to Alani Rose Wheatley. Alani is the daughter of Andrea Rose Wheatley, a graduate of St. Andrew's School, and will be attending Dean College, majoring in psychology. Her scholarship is in the amount of $2,000.
Hi, first I'd like to thank the Recognition Committee for giving this opportunity to all of us, and to my family for always supporting me no matter what. Thank you.
Our final scholarship award is sponsored by the Thomas Lopes Fund. I'd like to ask Ms. Patricia Harner to please come forward to present this award. This scholarship is awarded to Mariah Wright. Mariah is unable to be with us this evening. Mariah is the daughter of Keith and Demita Wright. She is a graduate of Old Rochester Regional High School and will be attending Bridgewater State University. Her major will be in journalism. Her scholarship is in the amount of $1,000.
Thank you, Kyle and Gil, for doing the presentations. Now we'll have closing remarks from our president, Mary Ann Rogers.
Good evening. Congratulations to all the awardees, to the parents and the grandparents. Outstanding. You all are exceptional and will make this world a better place to live. I hope you do come back to New Bedford, but if you don't, please, wherever you are, pay it forward. Many people that are here tonight have paid it forward by donating money towards your scholarship, and they do this every year. Thank you to all our donors who are definitely paying it forward. And thank you to Mr. John Cruz III of Cruz Development. Cruz Development is a major sponsor for our scholarship program and for the parade. Thank you, Mr. Cruz. Thank you, Mr. Cruz, for believing in us and investing in New Bedford. Thank you to Dr. Rosa and Giovanni for those words of wisdom. And a special thank you to Marilyn Gonsalves and the Scholarship Committee for your excellent work on this special night. This is a great event to start celebrating Cape Verdean Recognition Week. We have a full week of events next week. On Monday, July 1st, we will raise the Republic of Cabo Verde flag at 6 p.m. on the steps of City Hall. Please attend to celebrate the Cape Verdean culture or show your Cape Verdean pride. We have the Batucuda drum. I screw that up all the time. Oh, Batucada drummers, Candida Rose and Eva Brito, as part of the program. Tuesday, July 2nd, there is a lecture about Cape Verdean history by Dr. Trevor Hall at the New Bedford Whaling Historical National Park. And on July 3rd, Wednesday, at the Whaling Museum, here, there is a reception for the Cape Verdean Voices exhibit. And this exhibit honors Judge George Layton, the first Cape Verdean American federal judge. Our Cape Verdean Recognition Week ends on Saturday, July 6th, with the 47th Cape Verdean Recognition Parade. We are honored to have Gail Forts as our Grand Marshal of the parade. And the parade committee has worked hard all year to present another colorful parade. Come to the flag raising, where Diane Gomes, the chairperson of the parade committee, will tell you all about the highlights of the parade. Thank you again to the recognition board members and to the members of the scholarship and parade committee that work hard all year round to maintain and continue the tradition of ensuring we award scholarships, coordinate the parade, and have a Cape Verdean Recognition Week to celebrate. I hope to see all of you at the flag raising and at the other events this week. Thank you.
Okay, this is the end. I want to thank all of you for attending this wonderful event. And we want to invite you for refreshments in the Harborview Gallery, which is on the 3rd floor. If you don't know how to get there, we'll show you how, okay? But we want everyone to attend, and this is being sponsored by our Mr. Peter Silver, a former president of the Cape Verdean Recognition Committee. We want to thank you, Peter, for your generosity. I would ask everyone to please remain seated until the recipients leave, and after they've left, then you can proceed up to the gallery. But first, I want a big round of applause for the recipients. Hope to see everyone at the parade and at the flag raising.